with ideas of excellence. I am power filled with excellence. I am capable of excellence. I will achieve my highest goals and desires with excellence. I have a genius that solely produces excellence. I am committed to developing that genius with excellence. I only represent excellence. Excellence in everything, every time.
Hey, family, happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. I'm excited because while you're watching this, it's Thursday. I am actually in New York with my grandmother. When you will see this episode has been pre recorded so that I could spend time with my family. So I'll be watching with you live in the comments. But one thing I wanted to talk about this week was one common attribute that high achievers possess. And I was inspired by this topic because as we're preparing for the new year, a lot of us cast resolutions and goals. And I feel like there should be some strategy behind that. I also want to talk a little bit about my own personal strategy, how I developed it, how it has kind of helped me to harness some of the success I've seen today. And so I want to give you some little behind the scenes secrets. So that's what we're going to jump into today. If you are watching live, go ahead and type in, hey, I am here. I am here. Y'all like family, those of you who come live and those who catch the replay. So if you're watching by way of replay, you can type in hashtag replay. And if this is your first time watching, let me know where you're watching from. As soon as we come back from the introduction, we'll jump right back in to what's one common attribute of high achievers. Let's jump into the juice. For those of you who I have not yet met, my name is Lanita Hostin, and high school parents and community leaders, they hire me to help students devise what I call a post-high school productivity plan. And the goal is that students are very competent, competitive, and confident as they pursue their dream careers and ultimately make their parents proud. And so I do that by way of my 16-week program called the Excellence Academy and quite a few of my learning materials that I do have between books and workbooks. Speaking of which, if you do not know, I am releasing a new project December 1st officially. It's called The Pursuit of Black Excellence for Teens. It is a collection of self excellence, community excellence, and life excellence experiences. Particularly for Black teens. And so you'll hear more about that soon. But I'll drop the link in the comments if you want to grab your opportunity to join the wait list at thepursuitforteens.com. I'll drop that in the comments. But essentially, the first 10 buyers will have the option of receiving an Excellence in Everything long sleeve tee or an Excellence Creed poster. So actually, I'm going to show you. So, what you heard on the intro today is my Excellence Creed. Well, it also is in paper form. My vision is that the Excellence Creed will be stated during morning announcements for middle school, high schools, elementary schools to kind of get students in preparation for the day and remind them of their capacity. And so, this is what it's designed to look like. Can you see? And The Excellence Creed will also, the poster will be, you have the option of getting the long sleeve shirt or the poster. It does not come framed. This is my frame, y'all. And then December 1st, the posters will be on sale. This is an 18 by 24, but the one that you'll get will be a 24 by 36. So it'll be fairly large for a classroom and where students could actually read it. So I'm actually excited about that. I love that creed. I wrote it at the top of the year in 2020 when I was really trying to, let me get this settled, trying to get my mind wrapped around what in the world, how I was going to bounce back from business. Okay, really quickly. I study a lot of persons. I study them for commonalities. I study stories because I meet students who aspire to do things that the people who they admire are doing. It seems far-fetched. So I study them to see what were some of the decisions, the thinking, the resources that they had access to, so that when I'm coaching students, I have a frame of reference, a broad frame, not just my own personal experiences. So I study all kinds of persons, doesn't matter the age or the skin type. And one of the commonalities that I have discovered amongst almost every person that I've studied is that they have the habit of writing things down. And not just writing them down and that be the end of it, but they're revisiting it. And so where they write it is strategic. I don't know if you ever watched the Bring Mary Jane show on BET. She had affirmations all across her mirror, on her bedroom mirror, and then she had them in the bathroom mirror. They were affirmations. Some people put them in their car. Some people journal them. But almost every high achiever that I've studied, and a high achiever is just someone who has a strong personal desire to accomplish things that matter to them. That's a high achiever. I define myself as a high achiever. It is my intent that whatever I fix my hands to do, I do it with thy might. And that's rooted in my personal motto, excellence in everything, every time. So yeah, I am a high achiever. And we have attributes of being highly optimistic, very disciplined, highly structured, highly organized. And almost every high achiever that I've seen or that I've studied, they write things down. And so I'm sharing this because I'm always looking for practical ways in which we can teach our children to define success in their own terms. So whatever success looks like to them, giving them practical ways so that they could achieve it. And as we garner into or prepare for the new year, I think it's important that if we have not yet done this, but we introduce them to writing things down and the power of such. So y'all know I practice what I preach. This is my first journal that I ever had. And my mentor had to convince me of getting a journal. I thought it was whack. I thought it was a waste of time. Don't nobody got time to be sitting down and writing my thoughts out. Who want to do that? I would rather be in my feeling than to explore my feeling and transfer it to paper. But I promise you, when I started writing things down, this is, again, my first journal. This is 2015's journal. You see, it look crazy. It's been everywhere. It's dirty, got food stains on it. When I got into the habit of journaling, I never left. So this is 2015 and 16. This is 2017 and 18. This is 2019 and 20. And then this already got 2022. This is three years in here. And then this will be 2022. I haven't started in here. But I actually write down my goals for the year in October. So it's November now, if you're watching this, like when time has passed. And I wrote down my plan for 2022 in October, almost 30 days ago. I started doing this 3 years ago because I wanted to get a head start of the year. So my 2022 year has already started. All of the behaviors, habits, systems that I need to be in place to cultivate the 2022 year that I have in my mind, they're already in motion. And I think it's important that we share these kinds of practical tools and how they can be used and then pass them on to our children. One of the ways you can use your journal that I started off using it to just write my daily task. When I started journaling, I was battling with depression, and journaling was introduced to me as a way to get out of my head onto paper how I was feeling, like to uncloud or decloud or get clear of my mind. That's how journaling was introduced to me. And so on one side, I would write my how I was feeling and my thoughts. On the other side of the page, I would write my task for the day. And I was instructed to, when I finish or complete the task, go back and cross it off. And so it became a habit. So I started doing that all the time. It started to be my go-to place when I was having anxiety, frustrations, disappointment. I'm like, where's my journal? Versus, I need a glass of wine, or I just need to go see somebody. I need to be hugged. I need to listen to some music. I need to go for a ride. I need to get a piece of cake. It was, where's my journal? That was my coping mechanism. And it started to feel really good. And if you notice, when I was doing a workshop at Potomac Job Corps in DC, I took these two journals and I showed them that this was my first journal. This is my second one. And one of the students said that the black journal was symbolic of me being in a dark place, because I purchased these, to both of them, all of them, you see. And she said, you bought that black journal in a state of darkness. But I think you having or deciding to buy a pink journal was symbolic of you like coming into your light. And she was right, because what is in this is very dark compared to the visions and things that started to manifest in here. And as you see, I haven't gone back to a black journal. They all have been color or representative of probably my mind, my state of mind at the time. And so I thought that was pretty powerful. So when I wanted to give you 3 ways you could use your journal, everyone uses it differently, but the first way I mentioned to you is you can write down your task. Like it could be your daily task. You can go back and check off or recount what you didn't get done. It's a great way to be, if you keep your journal with you, it's a great way to be reminded in a very traditional way of the things that you need to get done. There are several apps that allow you to do that too. My favorite is Todoist, and I'll go in there and I'll put in my task for the week, and then I'll assign them a due date. And then every morning I get an email saying, hey, these things weren't done, they were done. It celebrates when I do complete tasks, that sort of thing. So monitoring or keeping track of your task is one thing you can do in your journal. You can also just journal about how you feel. These are like narrative prompt based. And I like to have those too, because at the end of the year, I actually go back and read my journal. I go back and see like the state of my heart and my mind. Have I grown? Have I digressed? And that also helps me in planning my new year. And so you are literally keeping a track record of where you are holistically if you utilize your journal in a narrative form repetitiously. I think it's a great way to keep like record of the state that you're in. Third way, you can use your journal to jot down your goals. So I mentioned to you, I draft out my plan for the new year in October. I draft out all of my goals. I have financial goals, spiritual goals, fitness and health goals, relational goals, platonic and romantic. And the fifth one is 5 categories. I can't remember the 5th category. I think it's like leisure or something like that. Business. It's business goals. And I write down my goals. And next to that, I write the strategy for the goal. So I want to save 20K next year. This is real. I want to save 20K next year. One of my strategies is to decrease excessive gifting. I love to gift stuff, and that costs money. And so decreasing that, I can still gift, but within a specific budget. Another one is to get a budget drafted by my CPA so he can hold me accountable. And we had a strategy session yesterday. So those are the strategies to get to the goal. So I don't just cast the goal, but I clearly and practically draw out realistic ways in which that goal can be accomplished. And so yeah, that's an example of that. So you can, in your journal, you can monitor your tasks. You can narrate like the journey of life. You can cast your goals. And the 4th one, you can write your visions. I won't take credit for this last one because I actually got it from Pastor Mike Todd. He did a sermon in the series he's doing, Crazy Your Faith. And he asked, do you have a vision for your singleness? Do you have a vision for your marriage? Like, have you sat down and thought about what that will look like or how you'd like it to look. And I hadn't. And so I've picked up the habit of doing that. So I've already casted my vision of what I'd like my singleness, my marriage, and my business, the vision for it to look. And one of the things that he said, the value in doing so is that you can, when you are faced with a decision to make and you're weighing the odds, always go back and reference your vision. Does that line up with what God spoke to me about what I desire? Like he confirmed it. Is it in alignment? And it's a great way to make decisions or cross reference something before you make a decision. And if that's the desire that you really have when you wrote it down, if it's authentic, if it's in God's will, then it will be in alignment. And so, casting your vision for whatever, you can also cast a vision for your finances. I want to be able to attend all of the celebratory moments and provide a tangible gift. I want to be able to give to a scholarship fund annually. I want to be able to pay my taxes in full, like whatever your vision is for your finances, writing that down as well. So here's the trigger. I teach this principle to my students. In the Excellence Academy, students receive a journal, they receive a calendar. The distinction between how I teach them and how most people are not taught is after you write something down, you have to revisit it. You have to see it repeatedly. It has to be absorbed in your mind. And it won't absorb if you just write it down one time. So you can translate that to other areas in your house. You can translate that into sticky notes. You can translate it into a creed, but you need to see it ongoingly, or you need to be able to go back to where you wrote those things down and reread it. And so, again, when I study high achievers, they share this principle. All of them share this behavioral habit. And to be honest, I don't see myself eliminating this habit at all. And when I look back at all of these journals, I am uber proud of what God has done through me and how I was able to get out of my funk and out of my own way and let him use me. And how he just show up. It's like a miracle when I think about it. So that's my time for today. One common habit that I see high achievers display. They write things down and they revisit it repeatedly. And that's high achievers of all kinds of races and ages and genders. So I challenge you as you're preparing for the new year, identify where you're going to write down your goals, visions, strategies, habits that you like to infuse, tasks that you know will be ongoing, like monitoring them. Find a place that you plan to put them, and then identify a plan to revisit it. Like, what's your strategy going to be to revisit it? So I won't be able to address your questions and responses live since I am pre-recorded, but I will be in the comments. And I'm excited about spending time with Grandma. By the time you see this, I will be 5 days in with her. And if you haven't had a chance to visit a loved one that really matters to you, take some time to do that. I'm really big on loving those that we do love, spending time with them while they're here, because we just never know when that time may come to an end. So thank you in advance for your understanding and for allowing me to spend that time with Grandma. And I haven't decided if we're going to do a Thanksgiving show, but it'll probably be impromptu, if anything, because I will be with my family. Matter of fact, we ain't doing one. I'll see you in December. I'm looking at my calendar. I'll see you December 2nd. That's the next Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Invite somebody next time, or if you felt this was helpful, be sure to share with them. I'm Lanita, hosting your favorite student success strategist. I love you, and it's absolutely nothing you could do about it. Bye.